Amelia here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a new video. So today I have to share with you two garments that I made. These ones are really fresh. This shirt is just finished yesterday evening. So I'm going to talk about the Amy shirt, the latest release from Sew Over It, and a Borda pattern that you've heard me. If you are for a while on my channel, you definitely heard me talking about this one. It's from Borda 11/2024. And you know, I have a lot of other stuff that I want to share with you. I have my make of the month from Borda magazine. I have a really cool shirt from Designer Stitch that I want to share. And I'm really behind with my Designer Stitch patterns to show them to you, but because there are always things that I want to add to my videos and I want to talk about, it's like I'm pushing them back, you know, because I really want to make, especially for the shirt, the one that it was just released from Designer Stitch. It's a really great shirt with some really cool details. I need to make a different video about it. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and in any case, don't forget to give thumbs up to the video. Very, very important. So I've been sewing a lot of stuff these weeks. I don't know how I'm doing it because I'm sewing really only in the evening, just a little bit. But having a room where I can just leave everything as it is and go away is really helping, because it's saving me a lot of time from, you know, tidying up stuff and all that. So anyway, let's talk about the Amy shirt from Sew Over It. You know, I'm a pattern insider for Sew Over It, and together with other ladies, we are getting the patterns in advance, or the next pattern to be released, and we get to make it. So Amy shirt just got released yesterday, I think, 26th of March. I don't even know if it was 26th, but it was yesterday. So I had to I didn't finish mine on time. I needed to put the buttons on and the buttonholes and all that, but now it's done. I have pictures, and you are going to see pictures here on. Okay, so side. The Amy shirt. I think I'm saying it is Amy shirt, from Sew Over It. It comes with two options, but actually the details are a little bit, you can do whatever with them. To be honest, I'm not sure which one from which version I used, but I used something that I thought that it will work with my fabric. You are going to see pictures of me wearing the shirt here, because I just want to show you stuff here on in the video. So to talk a little bit about the options, so you have your standard shirt. It has, I think for the bigger sizes, there are bust darts. In the smaller sizes, there are no bust darts. I made my usual size 12 with my usual adjustments, and that will be, and you'll see how the shirt is fitting me. I did my narrow shoulder adjustment of 1 centimeter. I'm always doing that in the Sew Over It patterns. And also 1 centimeter, I want to say, also standard one. Let's see, 1.5 centimeter swayback adjustment, and you'll see it here. Look, this is how it's looking. And because I did not have my tape, but I had some painter's tape in my room, this is how my pattern is looking. And so as you can see, because I was tired, I did my, usually you make like a dart going to the center back with the point, with the bulk of the dart here, the center back, where you take a little bit from the length of the center back. But first time I drew it the other way around, so I was about to take the length from the side seam, but then I realized that and changed it. So a swayback adjustment, also typical for me in most of the patterns actually. And I did shorten my sleeve by 2 centimeters, but then later I think the cuff was supposed to be sewn with 1.5 centimeter, and I used only 1 centimeter seam allowance because it was not really necessary to shorten the sleeves, I will say that. Again, my standard size, and you can see how the fit is. I did not do any adjustments in the width, and I really like the fit of the shirt. It's just beautiful. The fit over the bust is also nice. Amy is coming with two options for the color. Of course, you cannot see anything in my busy print here, but I have the pattern pieces here. You have your normal color, and I will say that this is really beautiful. It's not really the standard color shirt, because that one will be just a bit more straighter here. This one falls really nicely around the neck. You see it in the pictures, of course. And there is another option, this one with a little bit of a scalloped edge here, which is also beautiful. But I was thinking, in my busy fabric, it will be just a waste of time to make this, because you cannot see anything. So 2 options for the color. This will be definitely really pretty if used in a fabric with a little bit lesser busier print, and or even in a solid, it will be really nice. There are also 2 options for chest pockets. Also, this one I skipped it because, you know, you cannot see anything. And let's see, you have one, and I'll put a technical drawing. You have one, let's see, that is it's something like this, if I'm not mistaken, something like this, a little bit asymmetrical and interesting. And you have another one which is just a normal pocket, which you could also probably make it with square corners, definitely. Also for the cuffs, there are 2 options. You have one with the rounded corners and one with the squared ones. I made the squared ones, although I think in this sweet fabric the rounded cuffs will be also nice. Another or something different from other shirts, you find it in the treatment of the cuff. This is how the cuff is looking. You make actually, let's see if I have it on the other sleeve. Okay, the other sleeve, I have it on a portion of the print which is a little bit more lighter, so you can see what I want to show you. You can see here, let's see, about here, there is just a little small pin tuck. It's actually just 2 millimeters, which you sew with the fabric roll size together, and you sew this from the right side of the fabric. It's just a little bit of a pin tuck, and then the cuff is starting from the pin tuck and is going to the other side all the way around the sleeve, but stopping about I don't know how much you see here, 3 centimeters or something like that. And then when you close this, you have actually like a real cuff. It's really, really interesting and really easy actually, because you don't have that cut and bound with buzz binding or placket or whatever. So it's a really smart and easy look to achieve, and you think that it's a real cuff, but it's not. Very easy to make. For the rest, let's see. Also for the back, you can see here a little bit, I think I have gathers here. You have a yoke, a double yoke, which is really hard to see in my shirt. Is a double yoke. And then for the back, there are also 2 options. Where is my back? Here is my back. There are also 2 options where you can make pleats or you can make gathers. And again, thinking on my fabric sweet and flowers stuff, or flowers and sweet, I just decided to make the little gathers. For the rest, so the sleeve is really easy. You have here the sleeve. Again, you can see that I made that adjustment by 2 centimeters. I don't think it was necessary. The sleeve is really simple. You can see here the line for that pin tuck, which makes it easy to, you know, I just traced this with the tracing wheel and a little bit of wax paper, and then it was easy to see it and press it and stitch it. Very easy. Here you have the yoke, and you know, usually as I said, I made also here, I made my narrow shoulder adjustment. And to do that, because here you have the shoulder is somewhere here, it will not be here. Here is actually the front. There is a notch for the shoulder, and I just came in 1 centimeter and blended back here into these pieces. And I think on the back I had to go a little bit, or on the back I don't think so, but on the front I had to go just a little bit to blend it in also in the pattern piece itself. So I just put these ones together here at the seam allowances, and then blend it really nicely into the front armhole. So if you have a yoke like this and you need to make your shoulder adjustment, you're not going to make it here, because this is actually, let's see, this is actually the front seam here somewhere. So the shoulder is, you have a notch for the shoulder. For the rest, very easy to make. I cannot think about something difficult on this one. The cuff is really easy. It's easier than normal. This is actually the placket piece, which you need to cut two and fold it into, and then you have the placket. So I'm really happy with this one. The hem, it's also really pretty. It's a little bit rounded. For the hem, you know, usually if I need to stitch something like this, I'm doing a row of straight stitching to have as a guide, and then I'm folding it. In this case, it was 2 times 5 millimeters. So I'm running it through my sewing machine, 5 millimeter seam allowance, and then I'm using that as a guide. I must say, sometimes I'm doing that with the serger, and I think it was better to do that with the serger, because a serge seam is going to have a little bit of give. I did this with the sewing machine, with the straight stitch on the sewing machine, and I must say that in some of the areas, you cannot really see here because of the print, or maybe you can see, in some of the areas where the garment is, or the edge is a little bit on the bias, it should give a little bit more, and to give a little bit of, how should I say, ease, to be able to turn that rounded edge easily. But because I had that straight stitch, that made it a little bit rigid, and it was really difficult to turn this hem. In the end, I did have to unpick just a few stitches to make them loose, to give myself that flexibility of the fabric being cut on the bias a little bit on these areas where the, let's see, where the hem is actually a little bit rounded, you see here. So I think that was a little bit tricky to sew. But for the rest, I think the color, this rounded color, is just so pretty. You'll see it in the pictures. I have it also buttoned all the way up, and it's still comfortable and feels nice. So I'm really, really happy. Buttons, my mother of pearl buttons I have, and in the next period you'll see here some other shirts, definitely with the same buttons. I do love this kind of buttons, mother of pearl buttons, and I bought, I think, about 200 or maybe 500, I don't know how many, from eBay, and I think they are just perfect. They go with everything, and you know, I know already which size buttonholes I need to make for them, so you'll see them in a lot of shirts in the next period here on the channel. Yeah, and for the rest, yeah, I'm really happy with this garment. Again, the Amy shirt from Sew Over It is just out, really pretty. The fabric that I used is a cotton satin. It's very, very thin, and it has just a little bit of drape. This will work definitely really nice in a viscose or other kind of shirting fabrics. It's just beautiful. And you know, I would think that depending on the fabric that I use, the type of fabric in combination with print, I will also choose different details. As I said, in a sweet fabric like this, I'll definitely choose, let's say, for the gathers in the back, or if I was to use something with a stripe, I'll use probably the folded option with the pleats in the back, and then with a straight color. And if I was to use something a little bit in between, so not a busy print like this, I'll definitely try that scalloped color to go nicely with the fabric that is not so busy. So this was the Amy shirt. So after the big success with the Amy shirt from Sew Over It, I'll have to say that I'm not 100% happy with this Borda jacket. I think it's a garment that it will have to grow on me. I mean, I do like it, but I wonder how people are going to think, what people are going to think if they are seeing me wearing this. You'll see the pictures here on the screen. So the Borda jacket. The Borda jacket is made, and I think that must be the only reason why I finished this, because the fabric that I use is a gorgeous, gorgeous boiled wool from Minerva. It's just beautiful, and I have a lot of other garments in this wool. And to be honest, if I had made a toile for this, I would have probably not make it in this fabric, because this fabric is just beautiful. And I think it's also a little bit the wrong type of fabric for this garment. But anyway, the jacket is done, so I would like to share a few things about it. The jacket, so it's from Borda style 11/20/24, and I must say that I cannot really remember when I made for the last time a Borda pattern, and that's also something. You know, when I started to make this jacket, and it's this one here, of course, I want to show it to you. You can see the technical drawing here, you can see it here on this girl. I really loved the technical drawing is looking really, really nice actually, and you cannot really see on the technical drawing that is pretty boxy garment, and this girl, she's wearing it with a belt. I did not have enough fabric to make the belt, and definitely in this wool it wouldn't be suitable to make a belt from this fabric. So to go back, so this is a boiled wool. It's pretty thick. It's a pretty thick variation of the boiled wool. Minerva does have a few different kinds, but this one is the one that is a little bit more heavy. And I had it in my head to make a jacket from it first of all, and I will try to find, I don't have it here. I had in my head another pattern from Fiber Mood, but that one had some pleats here on the sleeve. It's from Fiber Mood issue 32, I think, I'm not sure, but that one had some really cool pleats, something like this going on. But I was thinking, you know, if I'm going to do that in this wool, this is going to be a disaster. I had the pattern all traced and I was ready to cut, and then I was thinking, well, it's definitely not going to work. Now thinking back, also this one was not a great decision, but I made it work. So I was thinking, which size should I make? Because again, because I'm not sewing so much from Borda. I do have a subscription, and you've seen here every month my flip throughs, but there is so much to sew and so little time. I had to decide which size to make. You know, if I was to sew more from Borda, I would definitely find, again, because in the past I was sewing a lot with Borda, I'll definitely find my way back into the patterns. And at one moment when you sew a lot, like let's say I'm sewing a lot with sew over it patterns, I know already which size I have in their patterns, the adjustments that I need to make, and I can do that in paper before I'm cutting the fabric, and I'm all done. But in Borda, I had a really big trouble trying to decide on the size. Well, I was thinking it's not going to be really oversized, so I'm just going to pick my size accordingly to the size chart. And if I was to take a look at the size chart, you know, on this girl it didn't look really oversized, the jacket, so I was thinking, you know, I'm going to be okay with that. Let's see. I decided to go, because really these are my sizes, to go with size 42. I knew that in the past I was always making size 38. Well, in the past I was making 36, even 34. But now I knew that I would be a 38. But looking at the size chart, I was thinking, well, I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to make a size 42. Well, I traced my pattern, so a size 42, let's see, the bust is 96 centimeters, and I am a 96. The waist is 78, and I am a 78, and the hips just are a little bit 4 centimeters too big, but I was thinking, you know, this jacket is not really going to the hips, so it's going to be okay. So I went with size 42. Well, I did cut, but I knew that if it was too big, it would be easy to adjust the cut pieces to a smaller size. So with that in the back of my head, I cut my wool in size 42. And I will try to find a video, because I made a little video with my phone to be sure that I have something to show you. It was, I mean, even now it's oversized, but it's made in size 38 in the end, but in size 42, it was huge. I did not have the sleeves on in the video. You'll see the video probably here, me turning around. It was just huge. And even if my fabric, it would have been a little bit smaller, softer, and with lesser body than this wool, it would have been gigantic. Way too big. So because I did cut my pieces and I just basted them together because I knew that it's going to be really wrong. You know, you just feel it. Sometimes if you are sewing already for a while, if you are looking at the piece, at the pattern piece, you already know that that's not good. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one, but we are making stuff and we know that it's not going to be good, but we are still doing it and sewing it, and then at the end you were thinking, well, I was right, it was wrong. So this is actually the piece, this is the facing. You get a different piece for the facing, and that's really cool because it's actually cut just a little bit smaller in order to, or bigger, yes, in order to help it turn really nicely here, to have that seam in going to the back of the garment. So they do, I mean, Burda, they do give, they do have good pattern pieces. They are nicely drafted, but we need to keep in mind the ease in the pattern and to choose and make a trial. I'll always say make a trial, make a test garment. So after I did, I added that on my I basted and tried on and decided that it was completely wrong. So from size 42, and I did in that video that you see is size 42 for the body, but from the waist down I did go to a size 40. So in the end, I ended up taking all the pieces, taking the basting stitches apart. I changed my pattern. I adjusted back to a size 38. So I went 2 sizes down. And the jacket that you're seeing here on my left is a size, the finished jacket is a size 38 and is still huge. My problem was also because, I mean, I know that this is the style. It's a really oversized style and probably I'm not used with this kind of garments, but I just love that dramatic color. Well, in my case, it's very dramatic. It's really just, it's just huge. And I cannot put a fabric belt. I don't have fabric, and the fabric is also not suitable for a belt. I can put an other kind of belt, but I don't have something matching with this. I'll have to buy something. To talk a little bit about the pattern, so you have this really huge lapel here, which you almost cannot see in the screen. There are pockets, of course, and I'll come back to the pockets. There are princess seams. Actually, princess seams, there is a side panel that is going here to the front and to the back. There is, I am not sure if there is a center back seam or I just added that to give myself a little bit. Which jacket is this actually? Let's see. Oh, well, I do have the, okay, let me take a look. I'm not sure if the jacket, yes, the jacket has a center back seam. I think it's also a little bit, it's just a little bit shaped. So center back seam. The sleeves, well, in my case, they look like really gigantic sleeves, but actually in the pattern itself, and I have it here. I apologize for the noise of the paper if it's really hard in the microphone. Well, this is another example that when I look at the pattern piece, I know that that's not going to go well, especially going together with the fabric that I have. So this was the sleeve, which is it's just very, very big. I mean, if you make this coat or jacket, you need to have a fabric that is really soft, because otherwise this is really, it's gigantic. And you can see here a line, a horizontal line. I hope you can see it here somewhere. And actually you're supposed to make, or I was supposed to make, I think you stitch those, you stitch that together on the line, and then it to be something like this, you know, something like this. I did not do that. I did think about it, and I have here somewhere, I cannot find them now, of course, something like, oh, these things. Press buttons, something really pretty to stitch them together and to close the sleeve. Definitely possible, but I kind of like it like this. It's really dramatic, I would say. Because I use this fabric, you know, in a border like this, and I have other garments from the same type of fabric, I chose not to finish the inside or the to overlock or something like that. This jacket could be easily I'm sorry, could be easily lined, but I just wanted something easy. I did top stitch most of the lines you can see here, and by doing that I added also a little bit of interest to the fabric. And I used, I think this is something that they use for furniture and stuff like that. This thread is working really nicely for top stitching. Well, this is not the color that I used, of course, but next to the fact that it's adding a little bit of interest, all that top stitching in this fabric is also keeping the seam allowances really flat, and it's really, really nice. I think I'm doing this a lot when I'm sewing with boiled wool, top stitching. Here also on the pocket, again, top stitching on the side panel. And for the inside of the pocket, you see this is another fabric. This is a little bit of ponte knit, because otherwise it would have been way too much bulk there to have the pocket double. I did catch my pocket a little bit with the hem, so I kind of like this really simple inside. It's still clean, everything is nicely trimmed, and you know, the only thing is, and I was thinking if this color is really bothering me because it's just too big, I don't know, I can always, because it's not lined, I can always open it up and then come back and just make it a little bit smaller. It's definitely possible. It's really not a big deal. So I think, but I need to give it a rest for the moment to forget a little bit about all the frustration about sizing, and then maybe I will come back here and make this a little bit smaller. Definitely, I'm thinking that in a fabric that will have a little bit more drape, it will work better, this pattern. But for my taste, it's just a little bit too oversized. Also, the armhole is somewhere here, halfway my bust. So I'll have to give it a break for the moment, because you know, it can go a little bit in the closet. Here it's getting anyway way too warm for a coat like this. But again, sizing with Burda, it will require for me at least a little bit of how should I say, I need to sew a little bit more from Borda and definitely make test garment in order to get back into their sizing and to see what is suitable for me. So I think this was everything. I cannot remember if I forgot something. So again, the sleeves. Oh, and also the sleeves. Did I add hem to these sleeves? They are really long. I added 3 centimeters to this as hem for my sleeve, but I'll tell you that this, I ended up folding this about, hold your breath, let's see, this is 9 centimeters. So next to the 3 centimeters that I added, or if I take them away, I'll have 6 centimeters extra length. And if you see my pictures, imagine those sleeves on me with 6 centimeters extra length. It's a lot of length. It's a lot of sleeve. Even in a soft fabric, it will be a lot of sleeve. So yeah, I really like this drop shoulder though. I think if I was to make a test garment in this, I will definitely raise that armhole a little bit more, a lot. And then even in this oversized style, that armhole is just too low. And then make this sleeve a little bit lesser wide. I think definitely the smaller size, I don't know what is the smaller size in this one, it would have been no problem to make it in a smaller size. Yeah, so the pretty coat from Borda in boiled wool from Minerva. So I think this was everything. I don't know if I forgot something, probably. Next, I have, of course, Make of the Month of the previous month from Borda, dress number 19, the pretty one in ponte knit. You'll see it on my Instagram. And definitely the gorgeous blouse from Designer Stitch. And I'm working now also on something from Designer Stitch. It's a beautiful, actually there are 2 garments, so I cannot wait to share those also with you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you got some laughs from this video. Definitely highly recommended, especially the Amy blouse from Sew Over It, and my Borda jacket. It will have to grow on me. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye.